Yeah, I know, a little late this week. Technically, it's still Saturday, at least in my time zone, though it probably won't be by the time I'm done editing. I was trying to space this out between how the race was won, so it didn't work out so well. Also, I got a dog.
Oh, so cute.
If you're happy with the things you do in your free time, don't get a dog.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're so pretty.
The Women's World Cup wrapped up this week. Well, actually, I guess it kinda wrapped up last week in Vargarda, where Boels Domen's Lizzie Armistead clinched the overall title on points by finishing ahead of Orca AIS's Emma Johansson. Specialized Lululemon's Chantel Block took advantage of that race within a race to get away early, and then had a fairly easy time getting around to Amy Peters of Giant Shimano, who maybe went a little bit too early. That made 2 wins in 4 days for the team soon to be known as Project X, which reminds me I'm running out of time to decide whether or not I want to dump 2 months of Cyclocosm earnings into that kit. Anyway, today's Grand Prix Plouet, it was Rabobank Liv taking advantage of the less than interested chase, sending Lucinda Brand up the road. It was almost Vogler-like, really, with the faces, except that the move made tactical sense and, Brand looked like she'd pedaled a bike before. Teammates Vos and Ferrand Prévost, who really don't need first names at this point, finished second and third to complete the sweep. But I just want to highlight a little dance around onto the grass from Vos here. Finding a way past the other cyclists on the road, or off the road, really is an important part of the sport. The men will be taking on the Plouet course tomorrow, or probably today by the time you get around to watching this. The race has a tendency to end in a bunch sprint, which makes it very hard to pick against Katusha's Alexander Kristoff, especially after his win at the Vattenfall Cyclassics last weekend. Vattenfall is an interesting race. It almost always ends in a sprint, it's overlapped by both the Vuelta and the USA Pro Challenge, and it's in Germany, where a certain Rafa spokesman has salted the earth so thoroughly that there is no national tour, and there probably won't be a World Tour sponsor for a team until 2017. And yet the race is now in its 19th year with several participant events and a crowd of over 800,000. Makes me think that instead of a rotating series of frankly not that interesting GC races, the US scene might be better served by having a tight, selective, urbanish one-day event. I would reduce the budget by 85%, which at $1.5 million a day is pretty significant. Speaking of the USA Pro Challenge, it's time for another installment of Phil Liggett Fact Check. Tonight's excerpts are from a Colorado Public Radio interview preserved at the URL below. Here is our first statement.
We've had radar guns on the finishing sprints many times, and they'll go through 55, 60 miles an hour, sprinting on flat roads.
Yeah, 5311 doesn't get you to 55 miles an hour until you hit 140-something RPMs, and I'm pretty sure data from SRM shows that the top sprinters hit about 110 when they're coming in a group gallop. Plus, this wattage calculator suggests it'd be something like 4,000 watts to go 60 miles an hour on flat ground, so unless you've got one heck of a tailwind.
Our second statement.
Well, when you see a cyclist riding very quickly up a hill and he's out the saddle bobbing up and down, to me he's dancing on the pedals, and the phrase just popped out.
The thing is, Phil, I'm pretty sure you parlay the français, and the phrase en danseuse means dancing, literally, and in the cycling context refers to standing on the pedals. A quick Google book search reveals the phrase appearing in that context as early as 1947, so I'm gonna say the origin of the English version wasn't nearly as serendipitous as that.
Statement 3.
The effort on the riders' faces, I think, is testimony to the fact that they are now riding on vitamins and good eating rather than on EPO.
Didn't you make extensive use of the phrase mask of pain during the EPO era?
Statement 4.
They didn't cheat to finish the race, they cheated to win the big money prizes which came into the sport in the mid-80s.
First off, cycling has notoriously terrible prize money, but hey, forget about all that, as long as they were cheating for the right reasons.
Statement 5.
Before then, people were taking drugs because they were just amphetamines and stuff like that, just to finish the course.
And, of course, also cheating with the right drugs. That excuses everything.
And finally, Statement 6.
I've honestly never found a bad sportsman in this sport.
Seriously, bro? Seriously? This is from Telluride, by the way. Maybe I should start having a beer sponsorship on the show. Also, I am still working on that final day dispatch from the USAPC. Did I mention that I got a dog?
Oh, good puppy. So cute.
I mean, I haven't even ridden since Tuesday. Not gonna talk too much about the Vuelta in this episode. After all, I have another show for that, and wouldn't you know it, I'm wearing a t-shirt for that show. You can even buy this t-shirt. I'll get a small fraction of your spending. I do kind of wish I'd made another t-shirt, something along the lines of Boycott Order of Reg, but that's for cross season, which is no. Yes, exactly. Opening registration in August for an event that doesn't happen until December.
Oh, you're so sweet and tender.
I'm Cosmo Catalano, and that was the week in Bike.